Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. So I thought I would just pop on and show you guys what I'm currently making, what I'm working on, and what I've been doing. So I guess I've been setting goals for myself, and some of those goals involve pattern making. Now I have been writing patterns for a little while, but I haven't been doing it consistently, and I really wanted to get my Etsy shop up and running a little bit more with some unique ideas, some patterns, because it's basically been mostly flowers, flower bundles, and a couple of plushies here and there. There has been more plushies being added to my shops over the last year, but I have really wanted to do more patterns because I do like writing patterns and designing and modifying them. So I decided that for Halloween, I am going to write a few more patterns, and I have written 2 so far. And my goal was to write them before September. So we are currently at the 29th of August. And I'm pretty proud of myself because in a couple of days, I have managed to write 2 patterns, finish them and get them created. I do them on Canva. So I basically take my photos, write everything down, and then add it all together in Canva, which is just super easy. So this is my first one, my little ghosty. He's a little bit chunky. I kind of really want to do like a ginormous one as well, but for now I've just got the mini one because I think it's a bit easier for people to make a mini ghost rather than a gigantic one, because who has the space for gigantic plushies, or a lot of them anyway, and it keeps the cost of the yarn down. So I think this is a pretty reasonable size plushie. He's just so super cute. So that is number 1. And then number 2, I thought I would be a little bit more unique and do something different. And I really wanted to do a ghost, something dressing up like a ghost. So I thought I would do a little apple. So I actually sketched this little guy out in my sketchbook, and I do have a sketchbook tour. I don't know if it's already been posted or if not, it'll be coming soon because I have recorded it already. But basically I like to do little sketches in my sketchbook, and then what I'll do is I'll try and recreate them into amigurumi plushies. So I did this little sketch, and I did a whole bunch of them, and this was the one that I created. So he's a little apple dude, here's his little leaf and his little stem, and yeah, he's a pretty simple. It's not no sew because I do sew his hands on because I like his arms to be more than just bobble stitches. I feel like bobble stitches are fine, but they can kind of blend in, and because there's a lot going on, like with the frill and the color, like a lot of white, a bubble stitch may not be enough, not chunky enough. So I wanted him to have chunkier arms. So this is sewn on, the leaf is sewn on, and so is the stem. Everything else is just worked around. So yeah, so this is him. And these are the 2 plushies together that I have created this month. I am super proud of myself for being so productive. And I think, we should all pat ourselves on the back when we have a productive month. I've also been using a planner. So I've been using the planner from Catnip Studios. She's a YouTuber that I love to watch. She's an artist, and she just has the most adorable illustrations. So this is one of my weekly planners, and basically I just have my goals, what I'm going to do, what I'm planning to do, and if I don't do it in that day, it doesn't matter, I just move it over to the next day. I do try and think of all the things that I need to get done and put them all on the list, and then figure them out as I do them. Whether I've stocked up too much stuff on one day, it doesn't really matter. I'll just move it over to the next day. I'm not going to punish myself for not getting my whole entire to-do list done because it's not possible. I have a 9 to 5. I have children. We just cannot get things done in one day. There is not enough time. So I thought it might be interesting to show you my pattern designing process and what's involved from the very starting sketch to the finished product. As you can see, I have tons of little sketches in my sketchbook, like this little ghost apple here that I'm currently working on designing. For me, I like to sketch out my designs first so I can visually see it in its final form and see whether the dimensions actually work. I'm a very visual person, so seeing a sketch of what it should look like as I design the pattern really helps me keep on track. For basic shapes though, I'm able to create the pattern without a sketch because I've made most basic shapes 1,000 times already, so it's permanently etched into my brain at this point. Designing a pattern can be pretty slow work, especially if there's intricate parts that I need to do over. And sometimes I'll try and make something a few different ways to find the easiest possible way to make it, so I don't confuse anyone who's trying to decipher my patterns. I try and design all my patterns to be beginner friendly, at least for now anyway. Maybe later on I'll do some more intricate ones. And make sure to continuously write down the pattern as I work or adjust existing parts of the pattern I've already written down if I find there's errors or parts that need adjusting. And this saves me a lot of time later on. So at this point I'm trying to figure out where to place the eyes. In my original sketch I have 2 sets of eyes, one for the ghost and one for the apple, as my original sketch was actually an apple with a ghost hat on its head. However, I realized that it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to and realized it looked much better as an apple wearing a ghost costume. I think the extra set of eyes was throwing off the design and wasn't giving me the cute vibe I was after. And here I am frogging my work. It's pretty normal to undo and redo sections as you need to make sure your pattern will work out exactly how you envisioned. It is sad to have to undo your work, but it will be worth it at the end. And always remember to update the pattern as you go to make sure your changes are written down. Otherwise, it will be a nightmare trying to remember the changes later on. Always update your pattern as you work. Take it from me. So back to the drawing board literally as I sketch out a slightly new design that represents the apple wearing a ghost costume rather than the ghost sitting on its head like a hat. Luckily, it's only a slight change as these 2 sketches aren't very different, but I think the changes make a big difference in the overall look of the plushie. And continuing on with the pattern, writing everything down, and finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel as the basic shapes are forming and coming to life. After I finish creating my plushie and adding all the details, I'll open Canva and import all the photos I've taken along the way, and usually these are photos of areas of the pattern that I think may be too complicated to explain or in a simple way, or I'm introducing a difficult or unusual technique. Then I'll write up the instructions as clear as possible and put them all together in a nicely presented document, upload it to my store on Etsy, and that is pretty much it. Okay, so that was my quick little update on what I've been doing. These patterns are available in my Etsy, Ko-fi, and Ribbler. They are cheaper on my Ribbler and Ko-fi because Etsy is crazy with their fees. I am thinking of changing my store from Square Up to Shopify because I can't put digital downloads in my Square Up store. I have to actually physically email them when someone buys them from me, which is really a pain and inconvenient because if the time I'm in Australia, so if the time frames are quite far away and I'm sleeping and someone purchases a pattern, they might want it instantly. So on Etsy it's instant. On my personal website it's not, and I think I might have taken the patterns down off my website now because it's just not really effective. So I'm going to probably change to Shopify because it's actually similar costings here in Australia. The fee structure is pretty much the same, I think. So I'm going to do that, and then I can start to add these pattern downloads into my actual store so that I can avoid some of the Etsy fees if possible. But yeah, so if there's anything that you're currently working on while you're watching these videos, let me know because I love to know what everyone's working on when they're watching YouTube videos, because when I watch YouTube videos, I am crocheting or working on something. Like I've always got a project going. So let me know what you're working on, what you want to see. Let me know if you have started your fall or cozy season Halloween projects yet, or if you're not quite there yet. It is a couple of months away, but I have started early. So if you have also started early, let me know. In Australia, we actually don't have a very big Halloween culture. Some areas do a little bit more trick-or-treating and dressing up their house. It's getting a bit more common, but it's just not as prominent as in the US, unfortunately. And apparently Japan is quite good with Halloween as well. Like they have a pretty cool culture as well. But Australia is a little bit lagging. So hopefully I have started doing a few more Halloween things just to get that vibe going. And the kids like it when we dress up the house as well. So it's all fun. But yeah, let me know if you are in Australia or if you're around the world, what you're doing, what you're working on, and have you started your Halloween stuff yet? Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like my content, please feel free to subscribe or like this video. It does help me out. I know everyone says that, but honestly, the algorithm really likes engagement. So if you're happy with the videos, give it a like. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Bye.